All right, let's talk about Avalanche. If you're in the blockchain space, you've heard the name for sure. But what is it really? What's a big deal? Why are developers and, get this, huge companies like Deloitte and JP Morgan suddenly paying so much attention? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into today. But, before we get into all the tech jargon, let's just start with a real-world question. Can this technology actually change someone's life? Like, can it get disaster relief funds to people faster when they need it most, or help a farmer on the other side of the world get insurance against a drought? It sounds like something from a sci-fi movie, right? But what if I told you? This is already happening. And yeah, that's the perfect place to start. Let's just push all the theory and white papers to the side for a minute. Let's look at what Avalanche is doing right now to tackle some pretty huge, very real problems. And honestly, the sheer variety of use cases is kind of staggering. I mean, on one hand, you have a consulting giant like Deloitte using it to speed up FEMA payments after a disaster. Then, on a completely different note, you've got Lemonade using it to give farmers in Kenya instant insurance payouts based on weather data. Then there's stuff like secure, counterfeit-proof ticketing for millions of concert goers in South Korea, and authenticating over $250 million in goods. It's just an incredibly wide spectrum. So you're probably wondering, how can one single platform do all of that? It's not magic, I promise. The secret sauce? Well, it's all in the architecture. It's about how it was designed and built from the ground up. And that leads us right into its unique architecture. You see, the whole key to getting Avalanche is understanding that it's built for two things: raw speed and serious customization. You can think of it as a platform that lets you build other platforms, a network of networks. The magic word here is subnet. Okay, so imagine the main Avalanche network is this huge public interstate highway. A subnet? That's you getting to build your own private, super fast toll road that plugs right into that interstate. It's your very own custom blockchain. You get to make the rules, you can even have your own custom token for fees, but you still get all the security and the ability to connect to the bigger system. It's a really powerful idea. Now, at the heart of this highway system are three specialized chains, and each one has a very specific job. First, you've got the X chain, the exchange chain. It's built for one purpose: creating and trading assets, and it does it incredibly fast. Then there's the C chain, or contract chain. This is where all the apps and smart contracts are built. And this is a huge deal. It's totally compatible with Ethereum's tools, which makes it super easy for developers to jump in. And finally, you have the P chain, the platform chain. Think of it as the network's coordinator. It manages the validators and the creation of all those new subnets we just talked about. And here is the big payoff for that design. Because all that work is split up so efficiently, Avalanche can finalize a transaction in under a second. Let that sink in for a moment. Under a second. We're talking a tiny fraction of the time it takes most other big blockchains. And that speed is what makes those real-time applications, like the instant insurance payouts, actually possible. All right, so we've got this high-performance engine, but what's the fuel? That brings us to the AVAX token. Because look, you can have the best technology in the world, but if the economics behind the token aren't solid, the whole system just doesn't work. So what does AVAX actually do? Well, it's pretty much the lifeblood of the entire network. It's used to secure everything through staking, which is when users lock up their tokens to help validate transactions. It's what you use to pay for any and all transaction fees. It's the common currency that all those different subnets use to interact. And on top of all that, if you hold AVAX, you get a say in the future of the network through governance. Now, this number is absolutely key to understanding Avalanche's entire economic model. The total number of AVAX tokens that can ever exist is hard capped at 720 million. That's it. Period. No more will ever be created. This built-in scarcity is the foundation for the entire value proposition of the system. So this creates a really interesting dynamic, doesn't it? It's this constant push and pull at the very heart of its economics. You've got this force of scarcity pulling one way and the need for rewards pulling the other way. And it's that tension that makes its economic model so unique. It really boils down to two opposing forces. So on one side, you have a little bit of inflation. New AVAX is created or minted to pay rewards to the validators who keep the network safe and running. Makes sense. But, and this is the really cool part, fighting against that is this powerful deflationary force. 100% of all transaction fees, every single one, is burned. Poof, gone. Permanently removed from the total supply. And this isn't just some idea in a white paper. It's happening in real time. As we speak, more AVAX is being burned. To date, that number is over 4 million AVAX tokens. Just erased. And it's constantly climbing, with every transaction, every new subnet, every NFT that gets created. It's like a live scoreboard showing how much the network is being used. You know, I saw an analysis that put this perfectly. It said that this fee burning is like an automatic share buyback for the whole network. The more the network is used, the more fees are paid, the more AVAX is burned. This systematically increases the scarcity of the remaining tokens, which is designed to benefit everyone holding them. And if you look at how the tokens were originally allocated, it tells you a lot about their priorities. A full 50%, half of the entire maximum supply, is earmarked just for staking rewards. That's a massive commitment. It's a clear signal that the project is designed to incentivize and reward the people who actually run and secure the network for the long haul. Okay, so we've seen how it works and what powers it. Now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. How does Avalanche stock up in the incredibly competitive blockchain race? And what might the future hold? This little table gives us a really powerful snapshot. First, speed. Avalanche's sub-second finality is just in a class of its own compared to the others. Then look at the fee burning. Burning 100% of fees is a much more aggressive approach to creating scarcity than what Ethereum or Solana do. And crucially, that EVM compatibility on the C-chain means any of the thousands of Ethereum developers can start building on Avalanche right away. That's a huge, huge advantage. And that competitive edge is turning some very important heads. This isn't just for crypto-native projects anymore. We're talking about heavy hitters from traditional finance. JP Morgan, Citi, Mastercard. They're not just kicking the tires. They're actively building and piloting projects on Avalanche, especially around tokenizing real-world assets. That level of institutional trust is a very, very powerful signal. So it all really comes down to this. Avalanche is making a massive bet that the future isn't one single blockchain to rule them all, but a whole network of specialized chains, all working together. The billion-dollar question is whether its unique economic model, that delicate dance between burning fees and minting rewards, will be the powerful engine that drives it to mass adoption, or if it'll be its biggest challenge in a fiercely competitive race. The answer to that is going to define the next chapter for Avalanche. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.